Malcolm Pein.
Hello, Carol.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Yeah. You are an international master. You sell books. You do a lot of things for chess in schools. You are director of the London Chess Classic, with a very strong line of players, of course. And you were one of the organizers, initiators of this London Chess Conference.
Yeah, I mean, what I felt was that the London Chess Classic was set up to support the charity. But
the charity of chess in
Chess in
schools.
schools and communities. But then I felt we needed to put various things in place outside of a chess tournament to support the charity. And one of those was, if you like, an intellectual support. So looking at the research into the benefits of chess, developing new ways of delivering chess, looking at different things that chess can be used for, different areas of society that it can benefit, all kinds of things. If you go back through the 6 previous conferences, you'll see each one has a different focus. And so my original idea in having a conference was to, if you like, give some intellectual ballast to the charity, and also to help promote the game of chess generally, and to try and reach more decision makers. Because, you know, just having a chess tournament's only going to get the attention of a certain number of people and a certain segment of the general population. Having an academic conference is going to interest a different segment, and perhaps a segment that you're potentially more interested in. So for that reason...
And bringing somewhat to the world.
Yeah, and so for that reason we decided to try and raise the money within the charity so that we could allocate every year, excuse me, some funds to have a conference. And, you know, then John Foley's taken it forward, and it's developed, you know, not only into a conference, but thanks largely to some of your efforts as well, you know, almost like a community that functions all year round.
Yeah.
And talks to itself, and people talk to each other. And so it's just a wonderful movement that we've got going here of people who are all committed to using chess as a tool to improve society generally. And
you bring people together, and the ideas are developed, and they spread over the world.
It was quite interesting that when I was speaking to John yesterday, one of the things that came up that is that one of the most useful sessions is the time when there's no session at all.
Yeah.
And people just get to talk to each other, and that in itself is fantastic.
Because you have people of more than 30 countries.
Yeah.
The chess trainers, scientists.
And people with diverse ideas, diverse points of view, but also different areas of expertise. Yeah. And it's just been a superb initiative, and, you know, I want it to continue for as long as it can.
Yeah. And can you name some concrete results of the conference, or some initiatives that were stimulated, or is it a lot of
you know, I think
things?
there are too many to mention. You know, you're talking about every single interaction, you know, between hundreds of people over 7 years.
Yeah.
But one of the things I can just give you that concretely, which is just interesting, is that I felt that my whole prisons project got a real boost.
The prison project
from last year, when there was a session on prisons. That was really useful to hear other people's experiences and get everyone who's either interested in doing it or has been doing it together.
Yeah, because then we are talking about best practices, and those practices can give ideas to people in other countries to do the same.
Yeah, and
or even better, or whatever.
I've now got confidence.
So you are a catalysator.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is just one giant catalyst. That's really what it's meant to be. One giant ideas factory, a catalyst and networking event.
Yeah.
You know, as well as obviously a place for people to illustrate their ideas, and it's working absolutely superbly.
Yeah, and you try to stimulate some scientific research about the benefits of chess.
Well, you know,
and then maybe sometimes, like a few years ago, with some research that did not come out what you expected from.
Sure.
But you can learn from this. Also, the negative things.
What this conference does is it creates the background music in which some people might think, oh, chess, you can research it. That's a good idea. I haven't thought about that. You know, that's really what it is. It's almost creating the background music for decision makers to suddenly come to the conclusion that actually chess is something that other people research, so maybe we should research it.
Yeah.
The research projects that I'm in touch with, we're about to start a new one. You know, it's been very good to be able to invite the researchers to this conference, for example.
But wasn't it concentrated too much on cognitive benefits?
Okay, so
because there is also social, emotional,
Carol,
metacognitive.
you've changed the subject to that specific research project, so I'll address that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I mean that specific research project, if I had my time again, I probably wouldn't do it. Interestingly enough, but
why?
Well, I was
about
to come to explain that clearly. But I mean, one of the reasons I was pleased to do it was, first of all, it was an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
It gave the charity an enormous boost, actually. We grew in size significantly just from the 50 new schools that were in the active group and the 50 schools that were in the control group. Some of them were interested in chess afterwards as well. And we also learnt an awful lot. But I think what I'd say to anyone embarking on research into the benefits of chess is make sure that you're completely comfortable with the design of the project. And what I think one of the difficulties with this particular project was that the bar was set incredibly high, like incredibly high. So, for example, they were testing the results in the standardised mathematics tests at the end of year 6 in the UK. Those were already pretty good anyway. It's quite hard to go too much higher. And secondly, the chess was done the year before, so the effects had an entire year.
Yeah, the problems.
Oh yeah, we think so.
With design, Jacobet tells the same in his articles.
Yeah, I mean we think so, but nevertheless it was a great opportunity, and also the fact that an organisation as highly regarded as the Educational Endowment Foundation decided that chess was something worth looking at was in itself fantastic, and you know even I spoke to them. Even just a few days ago, and you know they're not too downhearted by the project. It's a shame it didn't show a huge result, but you know it didn't show it only showed a slightly positive result. And also what was what was very interesting was that, you know, things go wrong in research projects sometimes, and when we were contacting the schools, well in fact I had to do all of this entirely myself. I emphasised to them, we want business as usual in your school plus chess. So find a place for chess, but don't cut maths to do chess. But in the end, some of the schools did cut maths to do chess.
Okay.
And yet it didn't do any harm.
If they got enthusiastic, there should be a reason.
So
maybe the outcome of the research was not that well. The fact that you see on so many schools enthusiasm about chess, it means something. There should be something. Maybe you're measuring the wrong things or on the wrong way. Okay, you learn. That's research.
Absolutely.
That's science. How science develops.
I mean, I think one of the things that I've learned since that project, apart from, you know, being very careful with the methodology and the design to make sure that you're comfortable with it, and also trying to figure out whether in fact your objectives, what you're looking for, are the right ones or realistic. Is something else actually, that if you're researching into the benefits of chess for children, you should try and make it explicit, make it very clear to the children what you're trying to do. That the children really understand what's trying to be achieved by teaching them chess. And one of our trustees of the charity, who's a head teacher, is very keen on that, and she's currently doing a little bit of work on a small scale. We're trying to make it looking at the effects of chess in a few classrooms, but making it very explicit to children what it is we're trying to help them with.
There's new projects developed, you were saying.
Yeah, we are looking at doing a new research project with a different organisation. I can't talk about it just now, but they'll be looking at the benefits of chess, but doing it with standardised cognitive testing. Before and after, and looking at certain aspects of the children's cognition after they've had a year of chess.
I wonder, okay, this is about the research design, but maybe there are also some you should think about more, maybe, about, because research is, we're teaching chess, but there is a lot of research, and I always wonder, what is the content and the methods? Is the content the French defense, or is it tactics? And the methods, is it just giving a symbol, or is it frontal explanation, or is
Sure.
it discovery learning? So maybe there is also a lot of gain, and maybe you asked the wrong questions.
I mean, the question of what you deliver to the children is obviously a very, very important one. And we'll discuss it with the researchers. What we're planning to deliver is our curriculum, which we've had very good feedback
Of
over the last
the
10
chess in
years.
schools.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the method, and then
Yeah.
there is the content, there is the
Yeah.
methods you use.
We might look at something that's a bit more maths based, but it's still at a very early stage.
And
It
this
just depends.
wasn't in the former research wasn't used.
No, it was.
It was, okay.
It was, but it actually was when the charity was quite young,
Okay.
and a lot of the tutors had very little experience actually delivering it. I think that was also one of the issues for us, was
Yeah.
the quality of what we were delivering. I'm sure all the tutors did their very best and worked very hard, and some of our tutors I know are very, very good, but to do that over 50 schools when the charity was at its beginnings was quite an exercise. And I think that the quality of what you deliver and the content is obviously a key thing, but we'll discuss that with the researchers. And it's funny, actually, just a few minutes ago I was writing a letter to one of the researchers saying, when you're budgeting it, I'm going to need a particular amount of money for quality control, because this time I want to have my people in the classroom a lot more checking on what's being done.
Yeah. And also a new design with an active control group and and a not active.
Actually, this was
control group.
another sort of controversial thing about the design, was that there was a active control group, there was a control group that did nothing, but there was no
Active
third
control.
group, active control. Yeah. Whereas this time, I believe there will be an active control.
Yeah, and a final question: how is chess in school doing in general?
Well, I mean, we are expanding, but I'm not trying to grow it fast, because every new school we do loses money, because we don't charge the school the full cost of the program. So I have to keep the growth of the charity in line with my ability to raise money.
And how do you get income?
So about 50% of our money comes from the schools themselves, plus there are some local municipalities that give us a bit of money. About 50% of our funds come from that, and the other 50% is pretty much from private donations,
Yeah.
We recently had a fantastic article in the magazine of the biggest UK teaching union, and I got so many inquiries after that. Yeah, so things generally
And
going very well.
and what is the site?
It's the National Education Union.
No, what is the site of your charity?
Oh, it's chessinsschools.co.uk.
Not everybody knows that.
No, not everybody knows it. And when I discovered that domain was available 10 years ago, it said to me, gosh, nobody's doing anything. If that domain's available, chessinsschools.co.uk. Yeah. Anyway, one of the biggest issues the game has is the massive imbalance between men and women in terms of participation. And as I said in my opening remarks of the conference, the world is designed by men for men, and we need to try and move to a situation where, when things are being designed, women are in the room. And we certainly managed to achieve that here at the conference. It seems to me that chess is certainly, after the age of about 10, the participation level just falls off a cliff. And there are so many reasons for that, a lot of which are being highlighted here. And we felt that it was time to start looking at possible solutions.